Hey guys, I'm here with Dan from Dan Cross Fitness. Today we're just going to talk a little bit of supplementation, gut health, and touch on your story and the motivational side of it. So I'll let you get started, introduce yourself. You were telling me your story earlier and it's pretty motivating, so if you want to just run through and give everyone else an overview of your story and what got you started.
All right. So when I was 13, I actually had my first stroke and jumped around from diagnoses. It went stroke, Lyme disease, which came back negative, back to stroke, over to MS. So that was a whole trial and tribulation thing. And then 5 years passed. It was weird. I was healthy. No one really knew. And then at 18, I had my second stroke. And I was on hardcore antibiotics until then. And it was at that second time that I just decided to take things into my own hands and started rehabbing myself in my basement, changed my nutrition, started exercising the best that I could, and really took it from there. Quit the antibiotics, quit all my medication. I wouldn't recommend that if you're on medication, but I'm a pretty stubborn guy, so I decided to go off it all just to see what would happen. More of like guinea pigging myself.
Yeah.
And then we're here about 7 years later, and I'm feeling great and doing great.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your weight at your worst when you were 18?
I was about 130, 135. I was severely
And
underweight.
where are you now?
I'm 170, 175.
Okay.
Yeah, fluctuate.
And then walk me through, I know you told me about your story of how your exercise progressed. Because you were told, like, may never walk again? Or
Yeah, so when I was 13 and the first stroke happened, I was told that I would be disabled in some capacity.
Okay.
So whether that be the lower body I can't use or the right side of my body, which is what happened. I lost use of the right side of my body. But they said by actually 18 that I would be disabled in some fashion. And so it started to come into fruition, right? So, and they said that would happen even if I was on the drugs or off the drugs. So I was like, okay, why would I go on the drugs just to be disabled?
Yeah, exactly.
So for the exercise portion, I couldn't move. I couldn't use the right side of my body, and I was crawling from my bed to the couch, which is about like 10 feet in the basement. And I started researching fitness and it affects on the neurological disorders, so MS and the lesions in the brain. And I just read all the benefits of exercise, so I just started crawling around my basement.
Yeah.
And after about 2 weeks, I got to the point where I could put a little bit of weight on my right side, so I started walking, holding onto walls, and then worked my way outside. There was a soccer field out back, so I started with a half lap one day, and then one lap the next, 2 laps, 3 laps, and just kind of kept progressing like that.
Yeah.
Until I got 30 laps, and then that's when I kind of worked my way to the gym, and then started weightlifting, and been obsessed ever since.
That's awesome. And now you're on like I don't want to call it typical, but generic like bodybuilding style
Oh,
split.
yeah. So the first exercise, I'm on a 5-day split.
Yeah.
Chest, legs, arms, shoulders, back. And, the first exercise of every workout is strength, and then the rest is muscle growth, hypertrophy. And, pretty classic bodybuilding workouts.
Awesome. That's a pretty motivating story. So I know the biggest thing for you, or one of the biggest factors for you in this transition was the supplementation side of it and getting rid of the antibiotics and the medications and flipping over to a more holistic side of it.
Yeah.
So walk me through, I know it's a long list, but walk me through what your typical daily protocol is for supplementation.
So the basics that I would tell everybody to take, just because we're so deficient these days, is magnesium, which we've talked about, krill oil or a fish oil to get that DHA, and a B complex. And those would be the ones that I would tell everybody to take. Okay. Just because we're really deficient in those vitamins and minerals.
And then as far as magnesium goes, what's your go-to source?
I take a citrate.
Okay.
Mainly because it just helps with bowel movements.
Yeah, for sure.
So, if you're looking for more muscle relaxation or joint relaxation, that would be a bisglycinate or a taurine or a malate source that you'd want to take.
Yeah, because we've talked about that. I've always found the best results from malate coming if I take it before bed.
Yeah.
We're getting all that muscle reaction, sleep increase, things like that.
Yeah.
And I've actually found exercise performance increase from a citrate prior to exercise.
That's interesting. Yeah, I still got to look into that.
Yeah, for sure. I know there's a couple companies now that are coming out. I know DeFranco's company and some things like that have a product made just for pre and intra workout magnesium supplementation. So.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Yeah. Okay. And then you take most of your stuff in pill form, not liquid?
All pill.
Okay.
All pill. Yeah, I just find it easier.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. What's next?
So, cover krill, magnesium, and vitamin B. So then I take a curcumin supplement. So curcumin is the active component in turmeric root. And the thing about turmeric root is you would have to eat boatloads of turmeric to get a sizable amount of curcumin.
To get the benefits.
Yeah, which is the anti-inflammatory you're looking for. So it's like a natural Advil. So if you are looking for the benefits of curcumin, I would just take a supplement. Don't bother with the root.
I know we've talked about that. Yeah. And using it in a cooking base or anything like that.
Yeah, and it just stains.
It stains everything. It tastes horrible.
Yeah, it just ruins your food. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. It has antioxidants too, the turmeric root. So I mean, if you're looking for more antioxidants to fight the free radicals in your body,
yeah, for sure,
definitely take it. But if you're looking for the anti-inflammatory, then Curcumin Supplement.
Well, and you've tried out some of that golden milk and things like that before, right?
Yeah, and I love the golden milk, but again, it just gets everywhere. It's so messy.
Stains everything. It stains your hands if it gets on it.
It's
horrible.
Yeah, and you got to change your clothes to make it, because
yeah, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you do like a form of intermittent fasting, right?
I do a form of intermittent fasting. Yeah, so 16 to 20 hours each day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how does that affect your supplementation protocol?
So a lot of new science on all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really realizing now that any supplement or anything ingested during a fast is technically going to break your fast with an insulin spike, and you're getting the metabolism going because you have to digest whatever you ingest.
So if you're taking in just specific nutrients, though, that aren't calorically, like, does it still matter? Like, if you're going to take your vitamins, your minerals, any kind of your nutrients?
Minerals, no. Minerals don't break a fast. In fact, you need to take minerals during a fast. So take magnesium. I lick pink Himalayan salt, which is full of minerals.
Is there a benefit between licking it and drinking it?
No.
Okay.
No. If you drink it, shake it up so that it fully dissolves.
Okay.
So that you get all the minerals in it.
Okay.
Yeah. You just want to make sure it dissolves. So when I lick it, I just let it dissolve in my mouth for a second. But either way, just make sure it dissolves.
Okay.
Yeah. But minerals, no. Vitamins, yes.
Okay. I didn't know that.
They'll break a fast. Yeah. It's actually something I was looking at this morning because I was very curious, because I take my B complex in the morning with my magnesium, and I was just curious to see what would happen, and I dove in some research, and it'll break a fast.
Okay. Do you know anything about medications? Because I haven't found any good research on that. Like, if certain medications would ruin a fast? Especially you and I having, like, gut health type issues.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I would assume so.
I would imagine so, too, yeah.
I think the only things are apple cider vinegar and minerals that you really want to have on a fast.
So you do take apple cider vinegar on a fast, not just when you're breaking it? You take it during, too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, that will spike insulin a tiny little bit, but the insulin spike is so low, and the benefits of alkalizing your gut during a fast are so high that I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing as caffeine, right?
Yeah,
same thing. You will drink coffee on your fast, right?
I do. Okay. I do. So there's two types of fast. There's water fast, which is straight water. That's a real fast. There's no insulin boost. There's no metabolism boost.
And that's more long-term, though, right? That's something if you're looking for like a 24, 48-hour fast.
Yeah,
and water fast.
And if you're looking to reset your digestive system and reset your mitochondria and grow new cells, water fast. But if you're looking for more muscle growth benefits, then a 0 caloric intake fast would be your best bet, which is what I do. So I still have black coffee, 0 calories, green tea, apple cider vinegar, stuff like that with no calories.
Okay. And just so people know, coffee does yield 4 calories per cup or something like that, but that's not the issue. It's the caffeine, right? Because the caffeine causes the cortisol to increase, which causes an insulin response, which will technically break your fast a little bit.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
I still think the cognitive benefits and the benefits to your body outweigh any kind of small break in fast.
Exactly.
Like, I think you mentioned it might be like a 10% difference.
Yeah, 10 to 20% difference. Like, you're going to lose a little bit of effect from that fast, but not much. You'll still, in terms of muscle growth, you don't need to worry about that. You could have the black coffee and you'll still be raising human growth hormone quite a bit.
Okay, that makes sense. And then we were just talking earlier about the benefits. So walk me through, we were talking about the benefits of the growth hormone increase from fasting, because I don't think a lot of people know to what degree it actually increases. And then you were also mentioning the saunas and how much that can increase the growth hormone while fasting. Yeah.
So what I've been implementing, and I find great results, is you do an intermittent fast, and that can raise your growth hormone by 2,000% in men and 1,300% in women. So then the research on infrared saunas is showing that if you do a 30-minute sauna directly after your workout, it can raise growth hormone by 2-fold. And if you actually do it for an hour after your sauna, which I would not recommend, it's brutal, but it can raise it 15-fold.
Okay.
So crazy amount. So if you take those two numbers, multiply it, that's 4,000% of raising your HGH just from fasting and then a sauna after your workout.
That's amazing. And then the workout itself, will obviously increase the growth hormone too as well. But
Exactly. So you're getting more benefits there.
for sure. But like
Yeah.
we talked about earlier, if your goal is muscle gain, it's probably not the most advantageous to do it that way.
Well, exactly, because working out fasted, you lose strength output.
Yeah.
So, and you want to keep gaining strength to grow.
Well, it's
So-
going to correlate absolutely, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
For progressive
Yeah.
overload.
But yeah, if you're younger adult and you're looking to gain muscle mass, I would recommend fasting because it'll raise the HGH. And same thing for older adults because they need to keep muscle mass.
Yeah.
And fasting helps raise HGH. So either or,
Okay.
whatever age you are, I would definitely recommend it. At least try it. It's not for everybody,
For sure.
but it's worth a shot to see how you feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then walk me through, I know this intermittent fasting affects your exercise kind of timing and protocol. So walk me through what you do pre-workout while you're still fasted, what you do post-workout, and then how you carry into your eating for the evening.
So it really depends if I'm trying to gain mass or I'm cutting down or I'm doing it for health. So if I'm trying to gain mass, which is what I've been doing, I fast for about 14 hours, not 16. And then at the 14-hour mark, I'll take some essential amino acids, which will break the fast, spike insulin. And then about 10 minutes later, I take some collagen and some creatine.
Okay.
And the creatine obviously breaks the fast because you need the ATP go on for that. And the collagen just gives you some extra protein. And I find that protein and insulin spike, like the workout is insane.
And you mentioned you use a protein more for the fact that you can't take away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I take the EAs instead of BCAs too, part of it, because collagen doesn't have tryptophan in it,
Yeah.
which is an essential amino acid, and you'll get that in the EAs. So
Okay.
it kind of works as a whey protein substitute for sure, taking the two.
I just find it so funny that like branched chain amino acids get all the hype and all the marketing and all the media attention when really EAs are far more important. You go into any supplement store, like I was just telling you, I went into one a couple weeks ago. They had maybe 15, 20, if not more, kinds of branched chain amino acids.
Yeah.
And I asked the guy, the owner, if he had any EAAs. And he said no, there wasn't a single one in the store that he carried.
That's crazy. I can't believe they don't have one.
I know,
Yeah.
which to me, they're more beneficial. And if you're fasting, breaking a fast, I say they're tenfold more.
Oh,
important.
yeah, way more,
Yeah.
because you need those essential amino acids. Yeah, for sure. I find just from personal experience, and this is totally theory, but I was taking BCAs for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And I would break my fast with the BCAs, and it was good. I had some energy, but the EAs, my energy output during my workouts, way better.
Yeah.
Way better. I can lift way more taking the EAs.
Well, and just for people who don't know, the difference between branched chain and essential amino acids is that the essential ones are just the ones that our body cannot create.
Yeah.
We have to intake them from endogenous factors. We can't actually create them.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there's BCAs in EAs.
Yeah, exactly.
So an EA is a BCA. A BCA is not an EA.
Yeah.
EA is the full profile of essentials. That you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. So then carrying through to post-workout.
Post-workout, I just take some more collagen,
Okay.
and if I'm bulking, creatine.
Okay.
And then I just eat whenever I'm hungry.
So technically, you still carry your intermittent fast a little bit past your workout sometimes? Technically, you've broken it without.
Yeah, I've broken it with very low calorie.
Yeah. So you're still looking to maximize potentially the growth hormone effect still?
Yeah, I would say I'm minimizing the growth hormone effect at that point because
Okay.
any sort of insulin spike will shut that down
Yeah.
from the fast. But yeah, I don't worry about, like, I'll wait 8 hours
Yeah.
until I eat again because I'm getting that protein before and after my workout.
Yeah.
So it's going to help with the muscle growth. And yeah, I sometimes I'll wait 8 hours and I don't see,
No.
it hasn't really
Well,
affected
and
me.
it's always been working for you.
Yeah, that's
So.
for sure. But again, this is all new science, so gotta play with it on your own body.
Gotta play with it, but it's been
Yeah.
working for you. Your muscle mass
Oh, for
increase
sure.
has been dramatic
For sure.
over the last year, I would say.
Oh
So,
yeah. The last 6 months especially since I dialed it all in.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. And then moving into the evening, is there any kind of rituals you follow for food before entering your fast again?
I don't.
Okay.
I've been hearing more about that lately, that
Yeah.
you should have your last meal in a certain way to start your fast. What I do, my biggest thing is I just eat a lot of food.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it helps you you're not hungry in the morning.
Yeah.
You're still full from dinner, and you want to eat closer to bedtime, 1 or 2 hours. So
I've
that you
always been
sleep
an advocate
better.
of that too.
Yeah.
People always call me on it, but I've always been an advocate of eating as close to sleep as possible, really.
Yeah, you want to leave a little bit of time so you can digest your food.
Yeah.
But you still want to eat 1 to 2 maximum 3 hours before bed, because you need the food to sleep. It'll help produce dopamine.
Yeah, that's exactly
it.
it.
Yeah, and melatonin. So yeah,
Serotonin and everything like that.
All
too,
that
right?
stuff.
So,
yeah.
Because the only thing I've heard is that there's MCT oils and a high fat are great to take in prior to starting your fast, just for the pure sake of, like you talked about, satiating yourself longer.
Exactly. It'll help start burning ketones faster, for sure.
Yeah.
The one thing that I do want to mention, though, about eating too close to bed is around between 8 and 10 o'clock, you start releasing leptin,
Okay.
which helps you sleep.
Yeah.
If you snack too close to bed, that can stunt leptin release in your body. So that's why you want to leave like an hour or two.
Is that any kind of food, or
Anything.
is that so it doesn't insulin's on it? It doesn't matter if it's.
You could do, like you said, some MCT oil or even like a raw honey.
Okay.
But beyond those two, you don't really want to eat too
More
much.
of it's more the digestive system than it is the actual.
Yeah, and it also stunts that leptin release, and you
Okay.
want that leptin release to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense. I think we're missing a few supplements. What else are you big on?
Yeah, we'll back up here. So I also take. Sorry, there's a lot I should have.
I know.
I
There's a
should
big
have
list
written
for
these
you.
down. Yeah. So I take calcium because I don't eat dairy.
Yeah.
I take zinc because I don't eat dairy, which are 2 minerals. Plus the fasting, you need your minerals. Minerals are key when you're fasting. So.
And sorry, you take those two while you're fasting?
No, I take them with my first meal.
Okay, so break
But
your
you
fast.
want those in your body because your fasting is going to deplete minerals, and if you're not eating dairy,
Yeah.
you're not getting too much. So I supplement with those two, and it's like cumin. I think that's it.
Okay.
I think that's it. Yeah, that would be it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense.
And in terms of, just to fill in a little bit too, if I'm breaking my fast for health reasons before I work out,
Yes.
I just work out fasted.
Okay.
So you won't gain large amounts of muscle, but you won't degrade muscle because you're raising
Your growth hormone level is
HGH
so
so
high,
much
yeah.
that you'll pretty much stay the same. Your strength output will be a little bit less because you don't have the ATP stores, the glycogen. But yeah, I just work out fasted if I'm doing it for health reasons.
Yeah. Okay. So talk to me a little bit about gut health. I know for me, suffering with Crohn's disease in the last year has been a bit of a challenge. I'm trying to rework my gut a little bit better, especially with just starting the intermittent fasting now and eliminating certain foods and trying to find my remedy. What's been your biggest thing for gut health? 'Cause I know it's been a huge focus for you.
Yeah.
Is there one or two like game changers?
The fasting,
Yeah.
because it takes the stress off the digestive system.
Yeah.
You don't have to digest all the time. And I used to eat, all the time, like 12 to 14 hours a day.
Yeah, your typical bodybuilding every 2 to 3
the
hours.
classic high carb, eat every 2 hours. And I actually found I would lose weight even though I would go over my calorie surplus because I was malnourished. I wasn't absorbing the nutrients.
That's been my biggest thing, absolutely.
Yeah, right? So taking the stress off my digestive system, it seems to really help get the nutrients that I need when I eat them. And just give myself a break.
Yeah.
Not feel so lethargic and bloated.
Yeah.
So the fasting and then the nutrition, eating whole foods.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't follow a strict paleo diet, but Paleolithic, so I kind of eat more to our ancestors.
Yeah.
And I don't follow that specifically, but I kind of try to follow that. So meat, vegetables, healthy fats.
Yeah.
Some fruits here and there. But it'd be the fasting and the nutrition.
Okay. So if you're eating an 8-hour window, what does your caloric intake look like? Do you have it mapped out?
4,000.
Okay.
I have a 2,000 calorie break fast, I call it.
Yeah.
Because you're breaking fast, but I'm not eating until about 4 p.m. And then I have another 2,000 calorie dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a macronutrient profile in there that you try to stay within, or is it just kind of broad?
So carbs, 50 grams net, which is pretty much as high as you want to go to stay in ketosis.
So you're still trying to maintain staying in ketosis as best you can?
Yeah, and then I carb up. Well, there's 2 ways to do it. So it's cyclic keto, right?
Yeah.
So you can go keto 5 days, carb up 2 days because you want the glycogen stores. Or you can fast, have your first meal keto, and then carb up at night.
Okay.
And then with the fast and the first meal keto, you'll actually be back in ketosis the next day. So you could carb up every night if you did that.
Right.
There's no science behind this, but I've tested it with ketone strips. I'm back in ketosis.
Okay.
So just personal experience there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. Is there anything else you want to touch on that you find is important?
The mindset.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, like if you're dealing with any sort of illness or you're trying to gain muscle or strength or perform better in anything, you want to have a good mindset. You want to have a good attitude. It doesn't mean always being positive and like upbeat because some days just suck.
Absolutely.
But you know, you don't give up. You do what you got to do sometimes, you know, and just find motivators.
I know that was the biggest thing you said in finding your transition from being almost like bed and couch ridden to where you are now, right? It was just flipping the mindset, right?
Well, exactly. Before, like, between the ages of 14 and 17, I was very angry and depressed and anxious and surrounded by toxic people, toxic mindset. And I just started changing my mindset, and I decided that I was going to take my life back, and I would pretty much give up anything to have that. So, and I've given up a lot for that, but it's all worth it, you know, in the end. And,
absolutely.
And you got to find that motivator, you know. Being 18, all I wanted to do was go on a friggin' date.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was my goal. I just wanted to be able to walk, so I go on a friggin' date, you know. And so just find that thing that makes you tick.
Yeah,
really.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Absolutely, which is different for everybody, but
well, exactly. Yeah.
For sure. And it's nice to step outside of the, like, you're big on trying to bridge the health and wellness side with, like, the bodybuilding and body composition and athletic side, right? Which it's nice to be able to bridge a goal like that isn't so physique driven.
Exactly. And it's funny because I'm still very physique driven.
100%.
I love it, but the bodybuilding industry is so toxic now.
So
yeah, it's just not good. That there needs to be a bridge between the health and the fitness that I think needs to come. And we're starting to find that you don't need to eat boatloads of carbs to gain muscle mass, you know. And I think that's important because carbs in excess, you need carbs, but carbs in excess can be inflammatory. Yeah. Which is, you know, for me, if I eat too many carbs, like instantly my gut is just wrenchy.
Well, it's like you just talked about with the nutrient absorption. Like I've always followed like the typical bodybuilding diet because I've been doing it for years. And as I fall out of that world and I get my Crohn's diagnosis and I try to reset a little bit, like I'm up to about 7,000 calories a day right now, which is outrageous to try to just maintain my like 210, 215 pound weight, which is ridiculous. There's no way I need to eat that much food to just maintain that body weight. Yeah. So trying to take a reset with the intermittent fasting, I think I should be able to eat probably half that, maintain the body weight I'm at, just for better absorption, right? Yeah. Like I'm just wasting the majority of the calories.
Like if I can ask you a question, what do you think your biggest thing is been in dealing with the Crohn's and the lifestyle?
It's funny because I hate to knock it because I have lots of clients that are that way, and I have no issue making nutritional plans and working around it if that's somebody's personal preference. But I was vegetarian when when my Crohn's peaked, I would say. Yeah. I had no idea I was dealing with it. I would always have a bit of gut distress. I never felt comfortable. But I was vegetarian for about 6 months, and that entire 6 months, it started to slowly get worse. Mm-hmm. To the point where I was actually hospitalized for days, almost a week, on several occasions. And it's funny because I was told even after my diagnosis was to not eat any red meat. Red meat was the number one inflammatory marker for Crohn's, and I needed to stay away from it, and that was going to cause me the most gut distress. And now I eat probably 5 meals a day of red meat. Yeah. And I feel fantastic in comparison. Yeah. It's still a work in progress, but I wouldn't advocate for it per se, but adding meat back in was huge.
Interesting. Huge. I eat a lot of red meat. I don't see a problem with it. If you're bringing down the inflammation and you're balancing out your omegas, then you should be good. You should be able to handle red meat. It's interesting you say that though with the vegetarianism, because I was vegetarian back from 18 to 19. I tried that too, and I noticed myself going downhill again after I had gone up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not to say that doesn't work for everybody, but I had that same thing. I got like a couple weeks where I remember finding my energy level surprisingly spiked when I first went vegetarian. Like I felt like I could conquer the world. Yeah. And then it was like a very quick drop off and decline.
Interesting.
So I wouldn't say that it might not be something that might be introduced like cycling vegetarian, where you just maybe do a week or two every couple months to kind of.
Well, if you do vegetarianism the right way, it can be good. But I find a lot of the time people just buy more processed foods that are vegetarian. The basis is you want to eat whole foods. No matter what diet you're following, whole foods.
The problem for me too, I think, was a lot of it was to try to get the bodybuilding style vegetarian diet made you rely a lot on dairies. Yeah. And I think that didn't help whatsoever. Yeah. Because I was eating a ton of dairy.
Well, dairy can be pretty inflammatory.
Right, exactly. I mean, I was eating good quality dairies, but I still think it was...
Still in excess.
Yeah, I was drinking like a liter of goat's milk a day.
Yeah, it can spike insulin quite a bit.
A ton of like Greek yogurts and Icelandic yogurts and things like that.
Yeah.
So
see, I can never get away with that. There's no way.
I think that was probably a bit of a factor. So I shouldn't say it was the vegetarian per se, but
well, the other thing, if you're bodybuilding and you're vegetarian, you need the protein intake, which means you have to eat even more carbs, more chickpeas, more beans. And
that's the problem. One, you need the full amino acids profile, which is tough because there isn't, to my knowledge. There is vegetarian, but there's no vegan option that it has a complete amino acid profile.
Hemp.
Yeah, sorry,
That would be the one.
That did. Sorry, I forgot what happened. But you can't take in enough to get your own entire.
No.
So what you got to start doing is you got to start mix matching protein sources in every single meal.
Yeah.
Which makes your caloric intake so high.
Yeah. Which brings me back to the EAs. If you are vegetarian, get an EA.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you're getting a complete complex.
Exactly. Yeah, all those.
Because there's definitely, that's what a lot of people don't realize is like everything's got like broccoli has actually got a ridiculous amount of protein in all things considered.
Yeah.
But not a complete protein. I don't think with the gut distress and everything and the digestive factor of it, you could eat enough broccoli to sustain.
There's no way. You'd be ingesting too much fiber.
Everything, beans, chickpeas, like all that stuff, any kind of your lentils, things of that nature, even rices. Like there's just.
And that's the thing when you're dealing with something like Crohn's or even me with IBS and leaky gut. Like you eat too much fiber.
Yeah.
It's just going to scrape your gut walls and it's going to hurt.
And that's where I was at. I think my caloric intake was so high trying to hit my bodybuilding physique needs as a vegetarian that it just caused me so much stress and overrode everything. That's where I found like Crohn's flare up.
So. Like vegetable wise, what do you do now?
It's funny, nothing.
So no vegetables?
None. I find them the worst for me with Crohn's. I really do.
Which I've heard of. Like I totally.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially the green fibrous ones.
For sure.
I find them to be the worst. So what I do is I eat zero vegetables, which I wouldn't advocate anybody doing. But I've kind of found my remedy of what's working for right now as I try to refine things, and it doesn't include vegetables. But I do juice them.
See, you're still getting the vitamins and nutrients that you want. That's
the
thing. Yeah.
I'm still juicing them. On a good day, I will have probably 2 juices a day.
Yeah.
Which for me, honestly, the things that have been my staples are probably the most basic. I find celery works really well for being anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
So I'll use celery, cucumber, which I find a little bit anti-inflammatory too as well.
Yeah.
So I'll use celery, cucumber. Sometimes I'll throw some carrot in.
Okay.
And kale obviously is always a good staple if you're gonna juice something. It's for being so nutrient dense, and I'll honestly just use those 3 most of the time as my vegetable intake, and I'll juice those.
Okay.
So a lot of times I will throw in something like a turmeric for the antioxidants and things like that.
Yeah. Get that.
But that's about it. That's the extent of my vegetable intake and my juicing, really. A lot of times I like to throw in a pineapple or something like that because we've talked about vitamin C.
Yeah.
Whenever you're juicing or making smoothies, I think you should have a little bit of vitamin C in the bottom before you choose to do that. So I'll put that pineapple juice in first in a glass.
Yeah.
Or whatever vitamin C source I choose to use, then juice everything in on top of that.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to kind of allow for not as much nutrient breakdown and oxidation.
Yeah. I'm a big guy on vitamin C. I take a lot of vitamin C.
Do you find the benefits post-workout? Do you add any extra in post-workout? Or?
No, I used to.
Yeah.
And then I read that antioxidants post-workout can stunt muscle growth.
Funny, okay. There's a lot of supplements that actually add them in, eh?
I know, right?
A lot of vitamin C is added into bodybuilding style muscle building supplements.
Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
a few of the guys I follow, they were saying don't take vitamin C pre or post workout. Like wait 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because it'll stunt the muscle growth. You don't want the antioxidants.
Okay, that's funny because it's very counterintuitive to everything that's been taught,
right?
And all the supplements that included.
Which is science, though. Like it's right one day and then it's wrong.
Well,
the
that's
next
exactly.
day. Yeah.
Everything's flipped.
Yeah. So everything we say, grain of salt, right?
That's exactly.
Yeah. It's always changing, always. But yeah, the best thing to do is just practice on yourself.
I think the biggest, we're both big advocates for that, right? We've both taken the alternative routes to try to figure out how to fix our gut and our health. And
yeah, well, it's funny because I do the opposite of you. I eat a lot of vegetables.
Yeah.
And when I started, I did what you're doing, the vegetable juices only.
Yeah.
But now I find the higher fiber does help me. See,
the difference, too, between my Crohn's, because I know a lot of people, like, it's family for me, and my family suffers with colitis.
Okay.
So the difference between Crohn's encompasses the entire bowels and digestive system, right?
Yeah.
Whereas colitis centers just on the bowels mostly, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
So the difference for me is my Crohn's is actually the only place they found issues when they've done all my endoscopes and colonoscopies and all that stuff. The only thing they found issues is in my stomach itself. So I don't have bowel issues. When my Crohn's flares up, I don't get I'm not running to the washroom. I'm not having issues like that, which is what most people suffer from. I just get pain in the abdominal area.
Okay.
So I think it's exactly like you said. I just have to really watch my fiber intake because it's just I already have a pre-existing inflammation in there.
Yeah, and it'll just scrape your walls.
Because it all stems back. I mean, I remember 6-7 years ago going to the hospital and getting diagnosed with ulcers without any kind of I had no test done.
Yeah.
The doctor just said that my symptoms sounded like ulcers, so I was on a medication for ulcers. But I mean, looking back now, that was definitely my Crohn's. Yeah. It wasn't ulcers. It was never tested, right?
Well, exactly.
So I've been dealing with this for a long time, and I'm sure it's been accumulative. But
oh, it always is. It doesn't just appear overnight, even though it may seem like it. Like when I got sick at 13, it looked like it appeared overnight.
Yeah.
I could trace it back to when I was 4 years old.
You start to correlate things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It starts early. Yeah.
But like I said, mine's definitely genetic. There was nothing I could do about it because it's a family history for me.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
My mom's side has a big history of it, so
yeah. Yeah. And your medication, you're still on medication?
Yeah, I'm still on medication. I tried to cut it out a little bit. It didn't work well.
Okay.
I was doing really well. I have to dose my medication for what they say I am.
Yeah.
I take Pentasa, which is a fairly mild medication. It's the most mild you can take for Crohn's usually.
Okay.
I'm supposed to take 4 grams a day. I take 2 grams a day.
Okay.
I did get it down and try to do none. It worked for about 2 weeks. Then it started to kind of creep back up a little bit. It wasn't bad, so I just threw it back in again.
So what do you find the medication does for you? Like symptom-wise, does it just help with the pain?
It alleviates the pain because all I get is abdominal pain. That's my only symptom. I'll notice my stools change a little bit if I'm having a flare-up.
Okay.
But it frequency doesn't change that much really or anything like that.
Okay, so it's just the pain.
It's just the pain. I get really bad abdominal pain.
Which is not fun.
If I let it go too far, it'll correlate to me like hospitalized, like with uncontrollable vomiting and things like that.
Oh,
it goes the
really?
opposite way for me than it does for most people.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the opposite
Interesting.
thing.
Yeah.
So I did went off my medication. It wasn't the best. I went back on. I'm still half dosing right now. I would like to get to the point where I work off. I'm hoping the intermittent fasting can get me off my medication.
Mm-hmm. Well, that trifela.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to.
2 before bedtime. Like, it's just so good for the gut.
And a perfect reset before intermittent fasting,
Well,
right?
exactly. Yeah. I even mix it with like a little chamomile tea or something, which just helps relax the gut. Like,
Yeah.
really just calm that inflammation. Yeah. So I wouldn't, like, if the medication's working for you, keep doing it. But if you want to start to transition off of it, try
My
the
biggest thing is
trifela.
the fact that I'm 26 years old. Like,
That's
we're
the-
talking about, I don't want to do 40, 50, 60 years of medication.
Exactly. And the thing is, once it just keeps kind of growing every 5 years. And that's why I didn't go on the medication. My drugs would have cost $18,000 to $30,000 a year, not
Yeah,
covered.
That's insanity.
It's part of the reason I didn't go on them.
Well, mine right now are about $230 a month. So luckily, I've been able to find coverage from apparently someone nice in a pharmaceutical company that provides me with compassionate samples. But
yeah. That's
mine are
really
about
nice.
$230 a month, which I mean isn't crazy, but it's enough
Yeah. Oh, it
for
it
being
adds
on
up.
one medication.
It adds
So-
up, man. Yeah. And I don't think I mentioned this before, but I have Lyme disease.
Yes,
So that is the final diagnosis. So essentially, Lyme-induced
which
MS,
caused MS, right? Which usually does.
which caused the stroke.
Yeah.
It's the whole progression, and that's the thing about even MS. If you have an MS diagnosis, like MS just means multiple scarring in the brain or spine.
Right.
Where's that scarring coming from?
Right.
Why is it there? So when I got diagnosed with MS, it stayed there from 14 to 19, and then I was like, nah, there's something else here.
Yeah.
And I kept pushing for another Lyme test, and they finally did it, and it came back positive. So it starts with the Lyme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, does that have any repercussions now for you?
Still have symptoms.
Okay.
Brain fog would be the worst.
Yeah.
And it makes me so angry because I'm a big thinker.
Well, and you
then
use
when
so
I get
much to be so cognitive with your nutrition, especially,
That's the
right?
thing, yeah. And then so if I can't get a thought or something, that's the biggest thing. I have some numbness and tingling in my right hand and foot, but that's going down quite a bit lately.
Good.
And then the gut health, like I get the pain too.
Yeah.
Yeah, from all the antibiotics, I have IBS and leaky gut.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I went, they would probably diagnose me with Crohn's, but I don't need another diagnosis.
Do you think any of that stuff's reversible now that you're not using antibiotics and stuff, or do you think it's when the damage is done, it's done?
We're gonna find out.
Yeah. Well, that's.
We're gonna find out
I guess
because
we'll both find out too.
yeah. Oh yeah. I believe the body's really powerful. I think that it can repair given the right nutrients.
Yeah.
But sometimes, because I've had it for 11 years now, right? So
Yeah.
there might be irreversible damage. But again, is that damage going to cause me to lose my life, like functioning wise? Like probably not.
No.
I get to do what I want. So I mean, I'm not too worried about that.
Well, and you're not surviving; you're thriving. Like
That's the thing.
That's the biggest difference. Like you're not just surviving off of hanging in there, and like you're actually thriving. You're making positive changes in your body, which most people can't do in a completely healthy state.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I think that helps me because getting sick so young, like I knew I wanted a life and I knew I had to take care of myself. So it almost pushed me forward to
For
take
sure.
better care of myself. Like if you
Absolutely.
have your health, you're like, I got my health, I'm good.
Well, if you know you at any point in your time you can go into the gym, spend 3 or 4 months, and get yourself healthy, it's not that motivating, right? You can sit
Exactly.
around on it a little longer.
Yeah, and you just kind of push it off and stuff. So
That's
it kind of
exactly
yeah,
it.
it kind of got like the fear of not having my life.
Well, and if you
pushed
had
me
waited
into-
a couple more years, it might have changed things a lot, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So
I think I had to start this when I started it. I don't
Yeah.
think there was waiting any longer, and I made the right decision there for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it should be an interesting experiment for both of us to see where this journey goes with both trying to get our gut health.
Well, exactly. And that's what it comes back to, in my opinion. No matter what you're dealing with, number one thing you can do is get your gut health in order.
Yeah.
I don't care what illness you're dealing with.
Absolutely.
Your gut's probably out of whack if you're dealing with any illness. And it may not cure you, but it'll help.
Yeah.
At 5%, 10%, 20%.
Well, and don't quote me on this. What is it? Is it 3/4 of your immune system is in your digestive system?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or wraps around your gut, or your gut wraps.
Yeah, it's like 3/4 of it, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone back as far as like some of the early medical books and things where they actually referred to your gut as, in certain different factors, like a part of your brain.
Well, it's your second brain. So your brain has the most neurons.
Yeah.
Your gut has the second most neurons.
Yeah.
And they feed off each other. So if your gut's out of balance and you're cranky, or if you find yourself cranky, it probably means your gut's out of balance.
Yeah.
Because they're connected.
Yeah.
Like, I know if I get like gut issues, like I am cranky.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to talk to me.
Well, it's funny because there's only so many variables for the brain, for brain health. Like, I mean, there's things you can take like DHA and DHEA and things like
all
that.
stuff.
But really, I mean, aside from that, there's not a whole lot you can do for brain health. There's certain nutrients that you need, certain things like that. But as far as gut health goes, there's an array of hundreds of things you can do, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a far more important thing for us to focus on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I find the better my gut gets, the better my cognitive function gets, the better I can perform in the gym, with work, personal, anything.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, for me, it's the gut. Go after the gut.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it should be a fun journey. We'll keep everyone posted on how things are going. And we've got some big things to come in the future. So some big gut health things that we're working on.
Yeah.
Perfect. So before we wrap up, give yourself a plug. It's Dan Cross Fitness, but give yourself a plug where people can find you.
So my main platform is Instagram.
Yeah.
So Dan Cross Fitness, DANKROZ Fitness. I also have a website, same name, dancrossfitness.com. I do a little bit of blogging, mainly on ketosis, intermittent fasting, supplementation, all that stuff. Still getting that going.
Yeah.
But those would be my two main platforms right now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And your, what are your certifications?
I am an ISSA certified fitness trainer.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So anyone with any questions or any fitness needs, hit Dan up. But we'll chat soon.
Cool. Thanks for having me, man.
Awesome. Absolutely appreciate it.